Hello and welcome back to Chill and Chats with Mel. And we're excited to just hang out with you today, and have a chat about stuff. Hi, Mel.
Hi, Elise. Today is really fun because we're talking all about what started us on this journey, which I think is really needed for us to share about. Yeah, I'm
Mhm.
excited.
Me too. Me too today.
Okay,
So
cool.
let's get into it. Right. So where do we start, right? I think, well, a really important part, Mel and I were just talking about personally, privately before we jumped on. We always have like a little like, are you ready to jump on chat and like about what's happening in the world? And I was literally just saying that before this journey, um, I was very much addicted to coffee, caffeine, Red Bulls, everything. And now I'm drinking carrot juice and coconut water.
I've got my green juice.
Such a different vibe. But and Mel's drinking her smoothie. So that's also like a part of the journey is taking care of our physical vessel and our physical health, right? But these are not even language or words that I would have once used. Like I would have been like, nothing a coffee can't fix. And don't get me wrong, I still love my coffee. Mel knows that, but definitely not to the extreme that I was like fully addicted to caffeine. Um, but I think my journey really started in 2020 when I left my career behind to become a stay-at-home mum and decided to say yes to like an online business. And that really took me down the route of personal development. And then along that track, I've done all these like healing modalities, coaching programs of my own, personal development, all the things, different health programs. And it really was just about finding parts of myself that I had um, probably had like kept buried inside for a long time that I was afraid to show that I didn't feel comfortable in my own body or in my own self-expression. And I think a lot of the time we don't realize that as women and mothers, once we become mothers, we sort of things change within us. And it's such a radical change because there's a part of us in them that we see that we probably hid for the longest time. And I think that is where and why I talk about inner child healing quite a lot, because a part
Yeah,
of my journey has had to be about like healing the things I've kept buried down inside for such a long time. Do you know what I mean? Did
yeah.
you want to like introduce a bit of like the beginning of your journey?
I think you can keep going, and then I will interject after if you're cool with that, unless you're done with
Okay,
talking.
great. I think that that was just like a brief overview, but I think, yeah, what's kind of been my current reflection is like it's such a growth journey that there's not one piece that I can talk on that really stands out because it's a constant, continued version of me that is growing and changing. Um, But you sent me a reel, was it yesterday or this morning? Was it you that sent me that? Yeah. That said 2019 me wouldn't recognize 2026 me. And I
Yeah,
actually got a few tears in my eyes when I opened that reel because it was like that moment of going, oh my, oh my gosh. Like, actually, that's true. Because
yeah,
2019 me was really struggling. 2019 me was depleted, anxious, depressed, unhappy. Um, and many people don't know this. I don't like say it often in my journey, but I thought that it would be better for my family if I wasn't here anymore. And that is because I didn't love myself inside. I had suppressed so much of myself. And it, that is not true. To anyone disclaimer listening, that thought is not true. If you're
Yeah, if
having
you're
that
having
thought
that
about
thought,
yourself, or
I'll go there too. Yeah. If you're having that thought, I promise it's not true. Elise and I have so many free resources if you're thinking that. Go and binge watch our
yeah,
podcast, message us, even if you don't
yeah,
want to have a call, even if you don't want to take on a program, if that is you, please, please reach out.
please reach out to us. Yeah,
There's also, bless my soul for saying this, there's also government places that can help you if you are thinking that
yep.
you should not be here. Um, yeah, that's
And
all. That's all.
I want to say that those thoughts are not true. There are people that really benefit from you being here and existing and being present. And it's really kind of shocking to me now that I actually used to have those thoughts because, like, none of it is true. And I would
I would
never
say,
have.
I would say to anyone listening who's like, oh shit, I do have those thoughts, Lifeline, um, Central West here, or like even Australia, is going to be like
Yep,
the best support that you can get on tap if you're looking for
yep,
something for free. Um, yeah, and
yep,
I'll go down my journey in a minute when Elise is finished, but just because it's been brought up, if you are thinking that, and you want something other than Elise and I, please go to Lifeline, please go to your GP, get a mental health plan, go there first because we
yep,
have both been there and it is shit and it is not true. The shit that your brain does to keep you safe is not true. Okay, sorry, Elise.
yeah. No, but thank you for sharing that disclaimer because I really want to normalize for people that when we share our journey now, we don't share it without having a story behind it. We don't share it because we haven't been through challenges to get to what we do now. But I think it is so important that if you are thinking or feeling that or have in the past, you get help and support. Um, and definitely reach out and ask for help because no one should feel that way. But I want you to know that it's not true and that, yeah, you are important and you are loved. And so the version of me today does not have those thoughts anymore. Um, the version of me today looks forward to every other day, so that's a really big thing. Because parts of
That's
me was so,
a question that I probably already know the answer to, but
yeah,
when you have those thoughts and those feelings of not wanting to be here, can you like pinpoint like one single thing that was like used to overcome those thoughts and feelings, or it was like a consistent um lot of things, or it was
yeah,
like a bunch of things, or it was like a person? Like what was it that made you go from being depressed, not wanting to be here, to okay, I can move forward, I've got this? Like was there a thing or was there multiple?
yeah. I think it's multiple different modalities, versions of help, coaching, different coaches that I did work with. But I did a lot of rewiring of my neuro pathway and my so I did NLP, and that really, really helped me to rewire my thoughts and my patterns and my beliefs about myself and about the world around me and about my environment. And I would recommend anyone that is having those thoughts and feelings, if you're listening, to get the help that Mel suggested and go and reach out for help. But maybe also look into like an NLP coach because that is the one thing that really helped me personally. I don't know, but I think a lot of us carry like a stigma that asking for help is a problem of its own, and it's really not. But it's
You
it's
also do
seen as like a
cognitive behavior therapy as well as NLP. Was that something you did as well?
no, no, I didn't
No?
do
Yeah.
no. Um, so I didn't do that. I just did NLP, but then I
Yep.
continued to do like other healings and coaching programs alongside of that and really just self-explore who I was and what parts of me that I loved. And learning to every day, I know people hate saying like, don't give me affirmations, but literally after being able to rewire my pathway and do the rewiring internally, every day I would like tell myself, you are amazing. You are loved. You are special. You bring this to the world. You are beautiful. You are like, I know that a lot of people think these sound really like silly and whatever, but just being able to rewire my thoughts and patterns and beliefs about myself are the same, like so very important. Because there is another version of you waiting on the other side of that. But from life experiences and things and places and people and environments condition us to think otherwise. And we develop these thoughts and beliefs about ourselves that, like I said, are not true. And so being able to rewire those thought patterns daily does take time, effort, and energy and work. But it was really just going and doing NLP. I did hypnosis and like all these other coaching programs. And from that, I was able to really just take on a version of self-love and every day tell myself all the good things about myself instead of all the things I didn't like about myself. And that in
Yeah.
itself can be very powerful. Yeah.
Yeah. So environmental changes as well. Do you think you change your environment?
Well, my physical environment, as in my body, yes, because I started actually caring about my health.
Yeah. Your
Um,
external environment, like your home, did it change too?
and my home came with the ripple effect of implementing the tools. The environment changes when you implement the tools within, I feel.
Yeah.
That has just been my personal experience. Yeah.
And the people around you, are they different now compared to what they were in 2019?
The people around me are very different. Yeah,
Yeah.
because a lot of people are not in my world anymore. But
I have a
that,
deep question for you.
yeah, go. I'm
Um, so now when you think badly about yourself, because it doesn't just go away, right?
no,
What do you do rather than like feeling the thought? How do you um like Harry Potter remove the thought from your head? Like how do you think like that? Like that you have a magic wand and then you're pulling it out. That's what I tell my children. Just think that you're Harry Potter and that you're pulling that thought out of your head and then tell it to piss off. How do you allow that thought not to become part of your energy, part of your emotional body?
do not consume me. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
So that's a really good question. I love the example you give your children. That's really cool. I think the most powerful thing is catching the thought at the very beginning. Because the more it lingers, the more it ruminates, and the more it becomes anxiety, overwhelm, panic, stress, all of the things. So catching it the minute you have it, catching it and just going, I actually don't believe that about myself, and I know that's not true. And I
yeah,
actually I'm not a crazy person, but I say it in my mind. I go, I actually don't believe that about myself. Actually
yeah,
don't believe that that's true. Or I say, where did that thought really come from? Where did
yeah,
it come from? Because a lot of the time, the thoughts we're having didn't come from us to begin with.
yeah,
And so I will say, I don't believe that about myself. Wherever this thought once came from does not belong with me, or like, and I just discard it now. Yeah, but that takes time and work to build up and support from a coach or a practitioner, or as Mel suggested, getting a therapist earlier. It takes time, effort, and support to be able to build that skill. And
yeah,
like we said earlier, 2019 to 2026 is 6 years of personal development and healing. Um, so yeah, like 6 years of healing my inner child, rewiring my brain and my thought patterns, healing my physical health. And the environment is a really important thing because, yeah, the people around you change, but they change because you start setting boundaries. They change because you start loving yourself.
Oh,
And
you
sometimes,
change. Can I just reword that slightly? You change and they are like the same, but then they change because you
mhm,
teach them how to treat you differently.
yeah, and you
Yeah.
start to tolerate less.
Less.
And so, um,
And I giggle because
sometimes,
sometimes it's hard for people. When you tolerate less, that can be hard for people.
yeah, and I don't think it's always, I think people, firstly, I want to disclaimer this. Losing people out of your world that are not serving you in a healthy way is not always a bad thing. I think we think, oh, if I like, and I'm not saying losing someone physically and grief and missing someone doesn't happen. It definitely does. But and it's hard. But removing people from your life that are not serving you or supporting you or might be contributing to you thinking, feeling a certain way, or just creating a negative environment for you. If
Yeah.
they're not benefiting your health and well-being, then they probably shouldn't be.
Bye, Felicia. Felicia.
Sorry, what?
I said bye, Felicity.
Bye, Felicia. Yeah, bye.
I
Yeah,
couldn't
and
say
totally
Felicia.
like so often we're like afraid to set the boundary or say how we feel,
Yeah,
um,
totally
because we're
agree.
gonna, yeah.
Sorry, was what?
No, you're right. I just could see you like got something to like ask or say or move on to the next thing, and I'm like, yeah, excited to like hear what you're about to say next.
I was just gonna say that leads perfectly into my story, if you don't mind me
Yeah,
interjecting.
go. Yeah, I think it's perfect time for you to start.
Yes. So, if you don't know me, I am an Aries, and if you know an Aries well, they are all love and light until you piss them right off, and then they're like, "Nah, no
Okay.
more. Peace
But
out."
I'm not an Aries, I'm a Sag, but I agree. I am patient and calm until I'm not.
Yeah. So my journey started a little bit before children. I actually always would say, if you know me personally and you're watching this, hey, but I would always say to people, I'm not having children. I'm not going to hurt my children like my mum hurt me, blah, 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 blah. Here we are, two children, 13 months apart. My life is like a fucking war zone because I wanted to not be here. Husband worked away. Everyone hated me because I was so negative. My environment was always dark, a mess. Like I was really depressed. 2019. Let's go from 2019 rather than going like further back. We'll be all here all day, as Elise knows. Um, but what allowed me to overcome this feeling of being so depressed is seeing and being around people that were one, earning money, not going to a fucking job. Like, why do we do this to ourselves consistently? Work 100 hours a week for what? A little bit more
Mm,
money than we need. Two, actually having fun as an adult. Who brought in this rule, jurisdiction that adulthood, motherhood, fatherhood, all of the things had to be so fucking hard? And three, these people were actually like living their highest self, not like their low vibration self, like we all do or did, but their highest
mm.
self. So then what could happen for me is like, oh, what if I actually did the things like accumulative over time and I could be amazing too? Like, what if I could
Actually,
do
I want
that?
to contribute that being around. So you asked about my environment and the people changing in it,
Yeah, yeah,
not just removing people from your world that are not serving you, but being around people that want to see you be successful, want to see you be healthy, want to see you grow and develop as a person with no attachment to that. They're just like, really, there are people in this world. I know people say we live in a nasty, evil, negative world, but there are people in this world that want the best for people, that
Yeah,
want to see you
exactly.
happy and healthy and grow. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
did
and
surround myself with, like Mel said, the same.
yeah, when I was around these people, I felt something else in my body that was different to being at home with all of these family friends that I've always had that were doing what they hated, living where they hated,
Hmm.
acting like they hated, being like, and I know for a fact that I was really hurtful because I was so hurt. And when people would
Yeah.
up on it, they wouldn't do it kindly. And then I would be more hurt because they were being assholes about it, right? So then I was
Yeah.
more depressed every time they would pull me up on, I don't like that behavior. Yeah, you don't, but you've done it to me 16 times and it's been fine.
Yeah.
Anyhow, so being around these people was like, ding, 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 I can be like this too. I just have to get out of my own way. And I started with food, water, nutrition. That's all I started with. And then I went for walks. Food, water, nutrition, walks. And then I added some friends in.
Hmm.
Food, water, nutrition, walks, friends. And now I go to the gym as well.
Community.
Water, nutrition. Like, see how it's a cumulative? It's not like, let's do all 10 things at once and let's be amazing tomorrow. Elise tears me every week. I booked in for this many times at the gym, but I had to cancel twice. Because it's hard
Yeah.
to do it when you have a family, when you have so many things going on. Surrender to what you can do and then leave the rest,
Hmm.
but try and do one thing for yourself every single day. So, like, if I haven't gone for a walk and listened to the running water of the river, I might do it on YouTube, or I might do a card reading, or I might put some oils on. I'm loving frankincense. I would say frankincense is helping me lift my vibration because Mercury is in retrograde. I keep saying microwave because I always listen to it and read it on Instagram Reels.
I've
It's
seen it
not
on
microwave.
social media. Mercury's in the microwave, but it's actually in retrograde. Yeah.
Okay, yes. And then Neptune's in Aries, and I'm in Aries, so welcome to my fun house. Um, anyhow, ground myself slightly. So, so
Take yourself out of the microwave, Mel.
yeah, when I found all these things for myself and was like, I don't have to live a shit show of a life. I can actually be around my
Hmm.
higher self and live in this higher vibration. Everything changed. Does it mean that it's always forward, forward, forward? No. It's like forward, 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 back, forward, 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 back. And it feels horrible
Yep.
at times, especially early on when you're like, yeah, I'm making progress. And then someone will do something and it'll literally just
Mm.
flatten you. And you're like, oh. But sometimes those are the lessons that you have to learn to be able to move forward, right? So now
Yep.
when I'm like planning all these things, doing all these things, if I have to say no because I don't feel the same today as I did yesterday or the day before, I'm like, that's okay. Everything's going to be okay. It's not the end of the world. Like, I have made plans with friends and then said I can't do it today, like a couple of hours before because I felt different.
Mm.
And that is my higher self being like, you're not on the
Mm.
right energy frequency, not on the right path right now for where they are at to meet together. Like, you have to listen to your intuition. With everything that I've done in the last six, seven
Yep.
years from 2019, the times where I listen to my intuition always win. Always. Always. So, like, when I say that I
Now, can I
can't do,
ask you like a little question if that's, oh,
yeah,
sorry.
no,
It like
go.
glitched and we spoke over each other. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
No, that's
But I
okay.
want to take you back a little bit.
Okay.
I'm going to ask like the same similar question you asked me. What was the first thing or where did you start? What was it, a modality? Was it starting to take care of your health? A coach? What was it the thing the thing the thing? that you did or that you found really helped you to shift that? Like you mentioned nutrition, water, which I agree, like the physical health elements in your wellness and your environment and the people around you. But was there a thing you did, like, was it similar to me? Did you do some rewiring of the neuro pathway? Did you do another modality? What was it that helped you?
I knew that you were going to ask me this question, the same as I asked you. So
Yep,
when I first realized there was an issue, I was actually deep in a network marketing
yep,
modality called Young Living, called the Oils. So they were the people that were like, they had this far better life than I did. Better, better. It's like
yep.
all life is hard, right? Everyone has hards in their life, is what I'm
Mm,
trying to say. So I started with the oils. Now the oils raise your frequency anyway, especially when they're high
mm-hmm.
frequency. The second thing
Yep.
was I went to the doctor, the GP, as I just suggested you guys to. And I'm going to tell you a story that is
Mhm.
really, really negative compared to what I experienced recently when I went to the doctor. Okay, because I also still have a psychologist. I went to the doctor. And the
Yep.
doctor asked me, as you guys know, I don't make it a secret. If you don't know me, I previously had an eating disorder, had malnutrition, didn't put on weight from when I was around 15, 16 till recently.
Yep.
I've put on 6 kilos. Anyway, the doctor, when I had my second child, was like, "Are you eating?" And I lied to her and said yes, but
Hmm.
I wasn't eating. Um,
You weren't. Yeah.
so then when she booked me in for a psychiatrist appointment. I couldn't get into her. The psychiatrist was far too booked out. And I got really triggered
Yep.
by the conversation I had with the psychiatrist, or even it could have even been like the receptionist. Really wasn't a supportive conversation
Yep.
at all. And then I went back to the doctor, and the doctor got really cranky with me because I said I needed help for my eating as well. Um,
Wow.
so then I got really frustrated with the medical system.
Yep.
Mind you, at the same time, I'm going through a lot of things with my daughter, who, if you haven't heard my story, there's many podcasts about this, but basically, she had asthma, and the
Yep.
medical industry made it really hard for me to figure out the root cause of her asthma. I was pretty much left on my own by the medical
Yep.
industry, and that's why I got into the oils, basically. And so I
Yep.
never went to the psychiatrist. I went back to the doctor, told her that I was malnourished and not eating, blah, 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 blah. She pretty much gaslit me and told me that I
Hmm.
lied and she didn't care and whatever, which made me worse. And then I found a lady
But do
who
they not
taught,
realize like that there's a reason we like hide it? Like we might be carrying shame or guilt around. Like there's a whole sorry around it. I feel frustrated for you, even though I know your story, re-listening to you say that because like there's probably like a whole like I know that I've gone to therapist in my younger life and like literally lied to the therapist because I was like told that it was like a shameful thing and there's something wrong with you and you need therapy. So like I thought therapy was like a shameful thing. So
yeah,
I lied to
yeah,
the
and
therapist to not be there because I was like, you know what I mean?
yeah. So after
Sorry to interrupt.
like
Keep going.
in
I felt
2026, I
frustrated
now
for you.
know, no, you're okay. I now know that my lying about my eating and my malnutrition was actually because I carried a lot of shame from my mom
Yeah.
telling me that I had to eat. So mum probably had the opposite to what I had and was overeating, like the wrong foods,
Yeah.
whatever. And always spoke badly about her body, carried a lot of shame around like what her body looked like. So I probably learnt
Yeah.
to not care for my body in the opposite way because she was so,
Yeah.
what's the word, like upset with her body. I now know that boomers went through a lot with bodies anyway, and I give her grace for that. Um, but at the same
Yeah.
time, that's probably where that comes from, if that makes sense for me. Which, if I had have had a
Yeah.
supportive doctor, then it would have been so much easier, so much easier. But anyway, I
Yeah.
didn't, so that's part of my journey. So I found a lady. Um, there was like two ladies like us doing one was with Reiki and one was doing like remedial massage with essential oils.
Okay. Yep.
And like they were heavily into spirituality, archangels, etc., etc. And
Yep.
um I was following them deeply on socials and I met
Mm.
them at a cafe once. I don't even know if I've told you this story. Um, I met them
I
both
don't
at a
know.
cafe once, and I actually started my blog.
Yeah.
I had a blog once. I forgot about this. I had a blog
I don't
once
think
where I
I
started
knew that either. What the hell?
um
We
and I
talk all the
started
time. I
this.
didn't know that. I feel like you've
Oh,
cheated on
I've
me.
like hidden it deep in the depths of the dark web. It was actually me, not AI. Fancy that. Like people
Right.
do still write stories that aren't AI. Um, that's a whole nother topic. Anyway, anyway, so I wrote this blog on how much I loved what they shared and how so I think her name was Sari. So Zoe was like very prim and proper, very like you're gonna laugh when I say this, Elise. Very like done up all the time, very like always wore like a top and pants and like very spiritually hygienic, whereas Sari was like tattoos, short hair, um, no shoes. Yeah, very like punk, very like. Anyway, I remember in my blog and them laughing at it. They like wrote back to my blog saying like "ha ha ha" to Sari, um, in
Mm.
the way I described her. But from the moment that I wrote the blog, I then become a client of theirs, and they would like always discount my services because I wrote the blog so well on them. And that
Oh,
it was
wow. That's so cool though.
like totally forgot this story. Totally forgot it. Anyway, this is really cool to relive this.
Yeah, wow. This is really
Um,
cool.
yeah, so I wrote the blog and then so I did some I don't think I did remedial massage, but I got lots of Reiki and they did like these circle things that were like spiritual. I haven't actually seen any of these circles since what they did. But they were like
Yeah.
spiritual, not awakening, but like kind of like what you would do at church, but within a spiritual environment, not within the religion environment. Does that make sense? Like you would sort of worship the
Mm.
angels and yeah, like you wouldn't need to um like you didn't need to be anything or like do anything. It wasn't like a journaling session or anything like that. It was just like you went there and like they usually fed you and it was all like vegan
Wow.
food and it was like so it was just really I didn't really well I think I met one girl Shannon and become friends with her but other than that like it was very like just liberating for myself to start the journey there and then they gave me the confidence to be
Yeah.
honest with myself build my identity and actually move forward to become the coach I wanted to be after lots of healing and
I
going
love
back and forth.
that.
Yeah, I actually remember that my first session was on my birthday and Zoe gifted me like
Wow.
my Archangel cards. I still have them, and every time I look at them, I think of
Wow.
like my whole journey. But I've actually not thought to share that.
Wow. That is the coolest story. So you did a lot of like energy healing, self-identity work, just so many things, but that's really cool because I didn't know how to blog. Okay. I didn't know that.
Finding your blog now.
How did I'm gonna go look for it.
I
Um,
actually don't even
the
know what my
secret,
name was.
the secret Mel files. Um, so that's cool. So it was a lot of energetics, a lot of probably like inner child work as well, like I have, but also
Yeah,
really working on your mind, body, and soul as a whole, like
yeah,
the way
yeah.
you
And I
felt
think,
about yourself too.
yeah, I think a
Yeah.
lot of the work was forgiveness stuff for my mum. And then I did try, if you don't know, I don't talk to my mum, but I did try to rekindle that relationship through this process. And it was just a disaster. If you know me personally, you'll
Yeah.
know that story. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I just can't do it. And it wasn't because I didn't try, it was because the boundaries that I set just were not like in her eyes a boundary. And I was like, oh, I just can't, like, especially when it's not just me, but
Yeah.
my children too. I become super, super overprotective. Anyways, we're gonna wrap this up.
Yeah.
We can totally, if you'd like to, Elise, we can do part two. It's up to you.
I think so because I want to hear more about your story. I don't want you to stop there. I feel like you're
Okay.
not done. There's more to be said.
Yeah, we'll go and have a cuppa and then we'll like do part two. So if you watch
Great.
both, we'd love to hear. So Elise, where can people find you on socials?
Elise, the mindfulness mama, and you are?
Mel Marie Stapleton on all socials. So yeah,
Yep,
if you'd like to come and connect with us, we'd love to say hi. Let us know what you thought of the first episode of this two-part series that was not going to be two parts. No notes today,
that's
so
good.
super exciting. And we'll see you soon for part two.
Love that.